Well guys, it looks like we're finally seeing something that we have predicted for many years now, and hopefully we will start to see this over in the UK in regards to the English Premier League, which is just as bad as the NBA and NFL at this point, because we had reports out last night that the NBA Finals viewership was down by 45%, being the lowest since 1994, and since most people in America are actually locked down at the moment, their viewership should be going up, but obviously it's not, and we all know the reason why, and that is because if you get woke, you obviously go broke, and they are now seeing that here with this 45% decline in viewership. Now hopefully we can see the same thing coming towards the Premier League. Now some people might say a 45% decline could just be because the teams that are playing, but the problem with that is the LA Lakers were on the pitch with LeBron James, who is supposed to be the best player at the moment. So despite having one of the biggest stars on the court, they actually flopped, which could well be because of him and his activism, as you all know. Now like I said, we can only hope that we start to see this in the Premier League, though I think they might be covering it up by allowing every single game onto the telly and not really giving us viewership figures. Because as we know, they're still not letting people in the stadiums, though at the moment that appears to be a government decision. But as you know, I fully expect when the fans are back in there, they are going to boo when these idiots take the knee or try to give any political statements due to the fact that people don't pay to go and listen to that shit. Now Breitbart's article on this headlines NBA Finals viewership down by 45%, the lowest since 1994, which is obviously a bit of a burn. Imagine having the lowest ratings in 26 years despite the fact that everyone's locked at home, proving like I said the NBA has got woke and might well go broke. If viewership's down that much, who's paying for all the salaries of these worthless woke tosspots? It goes on, one would think that having the American sports world's most popular athlete playing in Game 1 of the NBA Finals would equal impressive ratings. Well, one would be wrong. One would in fact be very wrong indeed. Instead of posting the good, if not great numbers that the NBA should have drawn for a Game 1 Finals clash, including with millions at home on lockdown and LeBron James on the floor, the NBA saw a catastrophic drop in both ratings and viewership, which is obviously the best way to teach these companies if you get woke, you will surely go broke. And hopefully, like I said, this can start leading to some of these fucking tosspots either changing it around or getting defunded by the people who watch it. It continues, according to the Hollywood Reporter, the opening game of the series between the Los Angeles Lakers and Miami Heat brought 17.14 million viewers to ABC, the smallest audience for the finals since at least 1994, when total viewers began to be regularly recorded. The previous low was 8.6 million for Game 3 of the 2007 NBA Finals. The game, which took place about 4 months later than usual start date for the NBA Finals, was down by about 45% in total viewers versus the US audience for last year's finals opener between the Golden State Warriors and Toronto Raptors, who as far as I'm aware are not as popular teams as the Los Angeles Lakers and Miami Heat. I could be wrong, so don't quote me on that. The two conference finals series that wrapped up last week were down a collective 35% year to year. The NHL's Stanley Cup Final Series, also delayed by several months, was down more than 60% for NBC Sport. Major League Baseball has also struggled during its shortened season. Now, there's no way of telling if all of them is because they've all got woke and gone broke, but I expect it's certainly playing a part. And I've got to say, I absolutely fucking love it. I really can't wait for it to start occurring over here. People need to start boycotting the football and everything like that, at least until they change their attitude and move away from these Marxist organisations that they are all supporting. I mean shit, let's be honest, they're actually help funding these fuckers in some cases. How many of them have donated to the BLM cause and shit like that? The Breitbart article continues, massive declines in viewership and ratings are nothing new for the NBA. Since the league restarted its season with a full embrace of social justice activism, the NBA has suffered huge drops in numbers. A counterintuitive development for a league that restarted after fans had been starved for sports for 5 months and much of the country was at home due to the coronavirus. However, it seems much of the country found the NBA's focus on politics to be a major turnoff. In early September, a Harris poll found that most fans were watching fewer games because the NBA had become too political, which if that poll's true, what I said is proven yet again, that getting woke and going broke is definitely playing a part in their viewership drop. We can only hope this is all also seen in the UK, so many of the clubs realise that this is not what people support, because at the moment they're not actually allowed to go to the ground themselves and let their voice be heard, especially the likes of Lewis Hamilton and the Premier League, as I said, because I cannot wait to see them all being called out by the fans who pay their wages. This is something the snivelling shitweasels seem to forget when they promote this woke Marxist bullshit that the people of this country and every country around the world really don't support.
There is a pattern consistent throughout history of oppressed people turning on the oppressors, slaves against their owners, the peasantry against the feudal barons, colonies, Mr. Verhofstadt, against their empires, and that is why Britain is leaving. And it doesn't matter which language you use, we are going, and we are glad to be going. We're off.